Nice header, and we got a nice exhaust, but it is not going on this car because we already got a big boy header on this car. That is going to go on this car. We've got this lovely Lexus IS300, and today this thing is going to get some love. This is a friend of mine's car, so we're gonna hook it up. We're gonna make this thing much nicer than it already is. But the main focus of today is this transmission swap. His original transmission was giving him some problems, so he went and picked up a new one with like 40,000 miles on it, I believe, something low like that. And we're gonna put it in this car today, and then we're also gonna put the header on as well and the full exhaust and get this bad boy moving. You know, you guys, it really helps if you guys get yourself some power tools. It makes a world of a difference when you're working on cars. Saves a lot of time, a lot of energy, super convenient. So I'm gonna break this here O2 sensor loose, or at least I'm gonna try to, by hand. Oh, look at that, it came right out. That thing was just snugged up in there. Okay, so that's good now. A lot easier than I thought, which is a big plus. You guys need to get one of these here O2 sensor sockets. It's like a special socket with a cutout so that way the wires can fit over, and this thing makes life easy. So you guys, earlier you saw me while I was recording, I did loosen up all the header bolts. They're 14s, so I just loosened them up, that way later I'm not having to struggle with it. I'm gonna have to climb underneath the car to get that one. Right there. So second O2 sensor, guys, right here. I already broke it loose. Wasn't even on there very tight. So I'm just gonna spin it out by hand and get to the rest. One more little screw up there. Need to take this exhaust off. I'm surprised the power of this thing, man. Ripped them little rusted bolts right out of there. Take off this here drain plug. Loosen it up with this guy real quick. Oh, too much. I don't want to get all oil all over my tool. Almost there, guys. So while that's draining, I'm just going to show you guys what I did so far. Took the exhaust off the car, and I'm starting to take the drive shaft off. down there at the end, I know you guys can't see because the light's coming in from outside, but right there I took off 3 of the bolts. There's just one more. I already loosened it. That's just supporting this back side up. I still got to take off this here bracket, and then I'm going to pull the whole drive shaft out of the transmission. So gonna let this drain out a little bit more and then yank the drive shaft right on out. All right, so I got one of the bolts out. You can see it's missing. There's a spacer on this nut, on this bolt, and one spacer goes up on this side and then the other one goes on this side. So if you look at this one that I haven't fully removed, there's only like one washer, and then on the other side at the top there's another one supporting it. So I'm gonna remove that and take this whole thing out of here. Be right back. All right, so as you see, I put a bolt back in here to support this because it's kind of heavy, and I'm on my back. I don't want nothing to smack me in the face. Bottom end of the drive shaft here, it was tight up against there, you know, from over time. So I smacked it twice with my little hammer, and this thing came down. Now I'm gonna take this bolt back out, and then the rest of it should slide out from the transmission. So let's get that done. All right, so I got the drive shaft part of the way out of the transmission. I'm gonna go ahead and take it the rest of the way out. And that's it. A little bit of transmission fluid on it, which is why I drained the transmission real quick, because I didn't know if anything was gonna leak out of there or not. But yeah, it's out. So I'm gonna go up to the front of the car, start taking the rest of the header off of the manifold. Alright, you guys, I've been wrestling with this manifold for quite a while now. Tried getting it out to the bottom, that didn't work. Been trying to get it up to the top. It's not really working. It's got to come out to the top. It's the only thing I can imagine. I did take off some brackets and stuff up over by the throttle body in order to gain access to free up a little bit of free up a little bit of clearance. So right there, it's getting caught on the chassis, and then the other part of the flange is actually getting caught up on the bell housing. So that's why I'm thinking that if I can rotate it the opposite way, I might be able to free up enough space to be able to pull this thing out. I mean, other than that, that's the only thing that's catching it. So let's see. Guys, I think we just made progress, so I'm going to tell you guys how I got this far. And obviously you have to take all your O2 sensors out, all your bolts and stuff out. I did disconnect this here line, this harness here. That way I had extra room around here. But I think the key to it all is underneath the car, and I'm going to take you guys down there and show you. This stupid thing, this brace. Once I unbolted this brace, I got one holding it up over there. Once I got this thing loose, now all of a sudden I got a lot more wiggle room. So I think the old manifold is gonna slide right out now. So let's see. Man, you guys, I've been stuck on this thing for like an hour. Trying to get this thing out. I know everybody else that does this job probably has the same freaking problem. All right, you guys, wish me luck. All right, guys, update. Look at that. That thing's about to fall down. We got it. There was a bracket. There was a stupid little bracket holding up a wire down there. 14mm bolt. Where was it? It was right where my finger's pointing. Right there at the tip of my finger. I took that bracket out and then I lowered the header or the manifold down because I was trying to take it up and it kept getting caught on this the throttle body. So I think that's the way. So you guys got to drop that little that brace, and then that bracket, you got to take that out. I'm gonna see if I can do this with one hand. Oh yeah, look at that, she's out. I'm going underneath and pull it out. You gotta do it from the, you gotta drop it down from the bottom. I don't know how they're getting it from the top, but oh, heavy piece of crap. That's what that is. I'm glad it's out. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this bracket back up for now and get right back to you guys. So I'm gonna take a second to show you guys exactly where that bracket was. See where I got this light beaming down? That's where the bracket was, a little 14mm nut, bolt holding it on. And this is, let me get the light around this way. So this right here is the bracket holding this line. This looks like a ground wire. Yeah, it's a ground. So this ground wire was bolted into here like that, and that right there was able to give me just enough extra room this way to get that header to slide down in there. It's time to start pulling the tranny out. Everything else is disconnected as far as the drive shaft, all the paneling and stuff. I got this oil pan because I'm gonna disconnect these lines here. And I'm afraid that there's going to be transmission fluid in those lines. See, there's this one here, and then there's another one right where my finger's pointing. Let's see if I can. Right there. So, got this little drain pan over here in case anything leaks out. I'm gonna go ahead and do that first before I start taking everything else apart. That way when the tranny's loose, I don't have to worry about fighting with these things after the fact. It's a 17mm, but you can see that there's been work done to this already. You can see that the bolt head is almost rounded a little bit. Let me turn this light down a little bit. You can see it's got like a burr on it. That means somebody's already been down here messing with stuff, and I'm hoping that this thing is not overly tight because I don't want to strip it anymore, and I also don't want to fight with anything else. Alright guys, so for that nut that I couldn't get off down on the transmission for the lines, I just went and picked up a set of flare nut wrenches, and what I need is a 17 here. So sometimes it helps just to have the right tools. I think that this is going to work a lot better than the other ones because you see it's almost got like a 6-side like wall on it rather than just like a box wrench where it's just 3 contact points. This has a lot more contact points, so I think that this is going to be a success. So I'm going to get down there and try to yank that thing off. Let's go.